Foolishly, people who are enamored of the glimmer of modern materialistic advancement are thinking that the Krishna consciousness movement is for less intelligent men. I am better off being busy with my material comforts, maintaining a nice apartment, family, and sex life. These people do not know that at any moment they can be kicked out of their material situation. Due to ignorance, they do not know that real life is eternal. The temporary comforts of the body are not the goal of life, and it is due only to darkest ignorance that people become enamored of the glimmering advancement of material comforts. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has therefore said that the advancement of material knowledge renders a person more foolish because it causes one to forget his real identification by its glimmer. This is doomed.
Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he sings, Jara Vidya Sa Mayar Vaibhav. This advancement of material education means advancement of the snares of the illusory energy of Krishna, Mayar Vaibhav. Because we are already enamored by the glimmer of this material world, just like the insects are attracted by the fire. They, with great force, enter into the fire without knowing that he is going to die. His forceful entrance into the fire means his sure death. Actually, we are seeing, especially in the Western countries, these motorcar civilization, when he run on the motorcar, especially with high speed, it is always we think that any moment danger can take place. You remember you are driving your father's car, 80 miles, so I ask him, don't go so fast. So, the materialistic way of life is that we create some so-called comforts of life for temporary enjoyment, but at the same time we take the risk of so many dangerous conditions. In the Shastra it is said that this place is padang padang jad vipadang. In every step there is danger. Although we are trying to mitigate all kinds of discomforts, it is simply changing the burden from head to the shoulder. Just like a coolie carrying some burden, when he feels uncomfortable, he changes the burden from head to the shoulder. But actually, that is not mitigating the pains of burden. Similarly, we are trying to get material comforts by manufacturing or inventing so many scientific discoveries, but that is not actually getting happiness. It is simply changing the position. Exactly, we just consider in your country especially, you have got many motor cars, but riding on motor cars, how much dangerous conditions you accept. Everyone accepts. So this kind of changing the course of discomfort, actually it is a place for discomfort. You cannot expect real comfort within this material world. It is a place because Krishna Himself certifies this place. duḥkhālayam aśāśvatam. It is a place for miserable condition of life. Now, how you can make a happy place? That is not possible. So our attempt to make us happy, the example is given just like to take the heavy burden from head to the shoulder. That's all. Changing the place. Now we are creating so many problems. You know, you have got many cars, many roads, but still you have to construct highways or flyways, one road after another, one road after another. Still there is congestion, still there is accident. So in this way, we cannot be comfortable. This is a vain endeavor. Durasayaji bahirartha manina. They are unnecessarily, hopelessly trying to become happy within this material world. And people, the so-called scientists, so-called advancement of material education, means now the scientists say that they have finished their business, they have no more to discover. But the discomforts of life still is there, as it was 200 years ago. Still, I think it is more acute now than 200 years ago. So in this way, we cannot. The another example is that just like we dream something dangerous, a tiger is coming, a snake is coming. Sometimes we want to change to another sort of dream. Those who have got practical experience. Dreaming another dream in dream. Similarly, our attempt, so-called attempt to become comfortable in this material world and manufacturing some ways of comfort, it is simply useless endeavor. Because such kind of artificial endeavoring will not make us happy. Real happiness is, as we are trying to manufacture so many things, as Krishna says, real happiness is there. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam saranam. To take shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna. Samasritam ji padapallavam plavam. Mahat padang punna jasu murai. That is required. We have to take shelter of Mukunda, Murari, Krishna. Then we will be happy. Gone.
This is doom for him because this human form of life is meant for getting out of the material contamination. By the advancement of material knowledge, people are becoming more and more entangled in material existence. They have no hope of being liberated from this catastrophe. In the Hari Bhakti Kodaya, it is stated that Prahlad Maharaj, a great devotee of the Lord, prayed to Nrsimha Deva, the half-lion, half-man incarnation, as follows, quote, "My dear Lord, I repeatedly pray unto your lotus feet that I may simply be stronger in devotional service. I simply pray that my Krishna consciousness may be more strong and steady, because happiness derived out of Krishna consciousness and devotional service is so powerful that with it one can have all the other perfections of religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, and even the attainment of liberation from material existence." Unquote. Actually, a pure devotee does not aspire after any of these perfections, because the happiness derived from devotional service in Krishna consciousness is so transcendental and so unlimited that no other happiness can be compared with it. It is said that even one drop of happiness in Krishna consciousness stands beyond comparison with an ocean of happiness derived from any other activity. Thus, any person who has developed even a little quantity of pure devotional service can very easily kick out all the other kinds of happiness derived from religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation.
Dharmartha kam moksha. There are people are generally after four principles of happiness, being religious, being economically developed, being very good candidate for satisfying senses, and when one is frustrated to derive any happiness from these three principles. He wants liberation, Nidbhed Brahmanusandha. That is also not actual happiness, because as I was explaining this morning, that even one merges into the Brahma effulgence after severe penitence and austerity, there is chance of falling down. There is chance. Arujya krichena parang padang tata patanti. Parang pada is to merge into the Brahma effulgence existence, but from there also one falls down. As I was giving the example of many big sannyasis in the modern age, they are very learned scholars. They took to sannyas, giving up this world as false, but again, after some times, they come to politics, sociology. That means that is their fall down, because they could not actually test the Brahma, Brahmananda, for which they sacrifice everything. So, Brahmananda is not such a thing that one will come again to this false platform, which they rejected as Brahma Sattva Jagat Mithya. If Jagat is Mithya, then why such exalted persons who give up everything for Brahmananda? That means they could not taste Brahmananda, therefore they fell down. Go on.
There was a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya, known as Kṛṣṇa Himself, who was a very poor man. He was doing a small business selling cups made from the leaves of plantain trees, and his income was almost nothing. Still, he was spending 50% of his small income on the worship of the Ganges, and with the other 50% he was somehow living. Lord Chaitanya once revealed himself to this confidential devotee, Kṛṣṇa, and offered him any opulence that he liked.
Yes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu offered this Kṛṣṇa Siddhar, wanted to benedict him with any kinds of benediction he wanted. But he said, I am quite happy. One reading.
But Sridhar informed the Lord that he did not want any material opulence. He was quite happy in his present position and wanted only to gain unflinching faith and devotion unto the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya. That is the position of the pure devotees. If they can be engaged 24 hours each day in devotional service, they do not want anything else, not even the happiness of liberation or of becoming one with the Supreme. In the Narada Pancharatra, it is also said that any person who has developed even a small amount of devotional service doesn't care a fig for any kind of happiness derived from religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, or the 5 kinds of liberation.
Dharmartha kama moksha samaya pratiksha mukti muklitanjali sevati asma. For a devotee, mukti is not a thing aspirable, because as it is stated by Billamangal Thakur, mukti is trying to serve a devotee with folded hands. Because a devotee is already liberated. Sagunan samatitaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpa. A pure devotee who is constantly engaged in devotional service, Maya cannot touch him. He is already liberated. So, what he has got to ask from the liberty? He hasn't got to ask. Anywhere a devotee lives, he is liberated. That is the statement of Srila Rupa Goswami. Iha jasya harer dasi karmana manasa vacha. Anyone who is simply engaged in the devotional service of the Lord by his activities, karmana, by his mind, and by his words, such person is always liberated in any condition of life. Iha jasya harer dasi. Simply, we have to engage ourselves in the devotional service of the Lord. Then Mayametang tarantit. One who has surpassed the boundaries of Maya, he is liberated. He is liberated. He is already liberated. Why he should aspire after liberation? He is already liberated. Gone.
Any kind of happiness derived from religiousness, economic development, liberation, or sense gratification cannot even dare to enter into the heart of the pure devotee. It is stated that as the personal attendants and maidservants of a queen follow the queen with all respect and obeisances, similarly, the joys of religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation follow the devotional service of the Lord. In other words, a pure devotee does not lack any kind of happiness derived from any source. He does not want anything but service to Krishna. But even if he should have another desire, the Lord fulfills this without the devotee's asking.
Yes. Generally, a devotee is annavilasita sunnam, jnana karmadhanamritam. He simply engaged to serve the Lord as he desires, just like Arjuna did. Other things follow. Just like a child who takes shelter of the father without any demand, the father sees to his necessities of life. Yoga chemang baham. Krishna, one who is fully surrendered unto Krishna and is engaged in his devotional service, he would see what is the necessity of his life, what does he require. Yoga chemang baham. This is the process. Gone.
The rareness of pure devotional service. In the preliminary phase of spiritual life, there are different kinds of austerities, penances, and similar processes for attaining self-realization. However, even if an executor of these processes is without any material desire, he still cannot achieve devotional service. And aspiring by oneself alone to achieve devotional service is also not very hopeful, because Krishna does not agree to award devotional service to merely anyone. Krishna can easily offer a person material happiness or even liberation, but he does not agree very easily to award a person engagement in his devotional service.
This is very confidential. To attain Krishna's service, that is not so easy. You can get liberation if you want from Krishna. Krishna can give very easily, or any material opulence. But to give engagement in devotional service, that requires very sincerity. As it is stated by Rupa Goswami, annavilasita sunnam. People generally go to temple and churches for mitigating some material wants. Artha arthat, jignashi jnani. Artha arthat, generally people go to Krishna to mitigate some material distresses, artha, or one who is in need of money. Just like Dhruva Maharaj, he went to Krishna, he went to worship Krishna under the instruction of his mother in the forest with a desire to achieve the kingdom of his father, or better kingdom than his father. That was his aspiration. But later on, when he actually met the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he said, my dear Lord, I have no other aspiration. I am completely satisfied. Shamin kitha thosmi barang najat. So this is the advantage of worshipping Krishna. Even one has got some material desires. That material desires will be fulfilled. At the same time, he shall become a pure devotee, just like Dhruva Maharaj became. He went to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, fulfillment for fulfilling his material desires. But because he engaged himself in severe austerity and penances for having darshan or seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, when he saw him actually, he forgot all his material desires. That is the advantage. We need not go to any other demigod for fulfilling our material desires. Akama sarvakama va moksha kama udaradhi tibrena bhakti yogena jajeta paramam purush. Even if you have material desires, still you take shelter of Krishna. Krishna will fulfill your material desires and at the end will give shelter at his lotus feet. This is the advantage of devotion and service. Whereas if you worship other demigods, you may get some temporary benefit, but at the end the benefit will be finished, you will be finished, and the demigod who has given you the benediction, he will also finish. Antavattu phalam tesham tada bhavati alpamedhasam. Therefore, the conclusion is, even if we have got material desires, generally a devotee has no material desire, that pure devotee, annavilasita sunnam. But even one has got some material desires to be fulfilled. If he worships Krishna, that desires will be fulfilled, at the same time he will get shelter under the lotus feet of the Lord. This is the advantage. Go on.
Devotional service can in fact be attained only through the mercy of a pure devotee. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita it is said, quote, by the mercy of the spiritual master who is a pure devotee, and by the mercy of Krishna, one can achieve the platform of devotional service. There is no other way. Unquote. The rarity of devotional service is also confirmed in the Tantra Shastra, where Lord Shiva says to Sati, my dear Sati, if one is a very fine philosopher, analyzing the different processes of knowledge, he can achieve liberation from the material entanglement. By performance of the ritualistic sacrifices recommended in the Vedas, one can be elevated to the platform of pious activities, and thereby enjoy the material comforts of life to the fullest extent. But all such endeavors can hardly offer anyone devotional service to the Lord, not even if one tries for it by such processes for many, many thousands of births.
You cannot achieve the platform of devotional service by karmakanda and gyanakanda processes. Therefore, Narottam Thakur sings, কর্মকাণ্ড জ্ঞানকাণ্ড সকলই বিষের ভাণ্ড অমৃত বলিয়া জিবা খায় নানাজনই ভ্রমণ করে কদর্য ভক্ষণ করে তার জন্ম অধঃপাতে যায় So, jnana-karmadana-avritam, devotional service should not be contaminated by jnana-kanda, karma-kanda, by fruitive activities or mental speculation. Devotional service should be taken exactly in the line of the great authorities, just like our sampradaya, Gauriya Vaishnava Sampradaya. They are following Rupanuga, Sirup Raghunath, Bhatta Raghunath, Sijiv Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath. Ei chai Gosai jar Tarmidas. We have to follow the principles of these 6 Goswamis. That will make us happy. Otherwise, if we adopt the ritualistic ceremonies, Shubha Karma, Samma Shubha Kriya Mati Pramad, if we take devotional service as one of the pious activities, Shubha Kriya, that is offense, we should not take devotional service of chanting of Hare Krishna mantra equal to some Vedic pious activities, ritualistic ceremony. That is offense. We should simply follow the path that is also Vedic. But because we cannot select, Vedeshu adurlava, if we study Vedas independently without going through the lines chalked out by the 6 Goswamis, then we will be misled. Vedeshu durlava. Adurlava atma bhakto. These Goswamis, they were personal devotees of Lord Krishna. They are eternal associates of the Lord. Therefore, if we follow their principle, our success is guaranteed. But if we take to the Vedic ritualistic ceremony without any reference to the path chalked out by the Goswami, it will not be possible to be successful. Devotional service is not dependent on Subha karma. It is simply dependent on the mercy of Krishna and his devotees. Guru Krishna kripa pai bhakti lata. Guru Krishna kripa. Naishang mati stavaduru kramangi. Mahi asang padarajo visikam. Niskinchananang navarnitaya. Unless we surrender to the lotus feet of a pure devotee, it is not possible to come to the platform of devotional service. That is the way. We cannot taste the honey within the bottle. The bottle must be opened by the expert. If you simply lick up the bottle, if we think now we are tasting honey, that is not the proper way. We should get the bottle opened by the expert, and when it tastes within the bottle, then actually. Similarly, devotional service without being opened by without the door being opened by the devotee, we cannot enter into the region. Guru Krishna kripa bhakti lata. Therefore the process is as recommended by Srila Rupa Goswami. Ado Gurvasram. You must select, you must accept the Guru who is coming in parampara system. Evang parampara praptam, evang raja sayavidu. Sampradaya. That is recommended. We have got Vaishnava Sampradaya, 4 Sampradaya. Ramanuja Sampradaya, Madhva Sampradaya, Nimbarka Sampradaya. So, intelligent person should select Guru from these Sampradayas and follow his instruction. Then the path of devotional service will be very easily open. This is the way. Yes, go on.
In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is also confirmed by Prabhupada Maharaj that merely by personal effort or by the instructions of higher authorities, one cannot attain to the stage of devotional service. One must become blessed by the dust of the lotus feet of a true devotee who is completely freed from the contamination of material desire.
Yes, Niskinchanana. The devotee, you have to select a guru who is Niskinchan. Niskinchan means who has no more anything materially desire. He has finished. The another verse, Tasmat Gurum Prapaddita Jigyasu Seyutamam Shabde Parecha Nisnatham Brahmani Upasamasrayam. One who has accepted the lotus feet of the Lord, Brahmani, Upasama, he has finished the material desires. No more material desire. Nishkin, that is called Nishkin. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also said, Nishkinchana sab bhagavad bhajanonmukhas. Bhagavad bhajanu, no. Those who are actually desiring to be entered into the path of devotional service must be Nishkinchan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Nishkinchana sab bhagavad bhajanonmukhas. Parang parang jigimiso bhavasagaras. Bhagavad bhajan means to go on the other side of the ocean of nescience, not in this material world. Anyone who is desiring to be promoted to the heavenly planet, Sargulok, Janalok, Mahalok, Tapalok, Brahmalok, there are so many higher planetary systems, but a Bhagavad Bhakta, devotee, knows that they are unnecessary. Abrahma bhavana lokan punaravartinat. Again we have to come back. Khine punne puno martulu kang visanti. So this botheration is not very much liked by the pure devotee. Pure devotee does not, even if he is offered such, of course a pure devotee never offered such material benefits, because Krishna says, the pure devotee, after giving up this body, takta dehang punarjanmaniti. Punarjanma means to take birth in one of the planets or in one of the species of out of 8,400,000 species of life. That is called punarjanma. But the devotees who are following Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instruction, they do not mind. Even there is birth again. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Janmani Janmani Bhavatad Bhakti Rahituki. So, even there is birth. Just like Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Kita Janama Ho Jatha Tua Das. My dear Lord, if you like that I shall take birth again, so kindly give my birth in a place where there is your devotee. That is one. Bahirmukh Brahma Janme Nahi Moras. And if I become non-devotee and take my birth as Lord Brahma, I don't want it. Let me become an insect in the house of a devotee. This is the aspiration. The same thing is explained here. Because without the benediction of a pure devotee, it is not possible to enter into the path of devotion and service. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.